I'm about to do a valve job right now, cylinder head to the engine of my bike, and I believe this is the front cylinder head. So each cylinder has 3 valves. This is the exhaust valve, and then there's 2 intake valves. So when it comes to this, I'm going to be actually removing each valves. This job, it's not hard, but when it comes to this job, it's safety, because you're dealing with springs. So you have this outer spring right here, and then inside there's an inner spring, and each of these valves have that. And then, so right now I have my my valve tool. When it comes to this type of job, you have to really take in consideration that you need to put safety first, because you're dealing with springs. And when it comes to safety, you have to wear your eyeglass protection. So when it comes to these spring jobs, when you're removing the springs, the most important thing is with your spring compressor tool, you have to have everything aligned. Otherwise, if you compress those springs crooked or not aligned, those springs can actually just fall out of place, and then you can really get hurt. It can hit you in the face. That's why you have to wear a eye protection. So right here, last time I was talking about removing the springs to my engine. Well, when I was doing that video, actually my battery died to my camera. So right now I'm actually going to be removing the springs to the ATV, and actually I'm going to be using a C-clamp along with the valve compressor tool that I had. I was removing the other spring to this thing, and it was really stuck that it actually bent my other C tool from my valve compressor. So but I'm still able to use a C clamp. It's a pretty large C clamp, and then I'm just using this tool that usually connects and secures into the original tool. But right here I'm gonna be using this right here. So when it comes to this, like yeah, I just have to be extra careful not to like make sure this doesn't move as I'm doing this job. And so what I was saying is you have to have the stuff aligned. So let me just back up right here. So this is the C-clamp right here, and then it just goes down right here. So right here is where the valves come out. This is where the combustion chamber should be, and the cylinder is going to be over here. So the other end of the clamp has to be aligned with the top part of that valve. If you can see, the springs are going to be in here, inside over here. This is the top part of the springs, and then in here right there, that's the top of the valve, and that valve is holding into place. It holds the springs in place with these 2 little clips. There's one right here, and then the other one is right here. It's like little crescents. Okay, so I'm just right now checking that everything's aligned, top and bottom. Everything seems pretty good. So I'm just gonna start compressing this. Let me get my hand out the way and zoom out a little. That should be good. Okay, so I'm just gonna start compressing. This is, I do this really slow. You just wanna, every time you do this, you wanna go at it slow. And you'll start seeing those clips, like, you see that? It's a very subtle, it's a very small movement, but you can see those springs are being compressed. When you do this, you never want to look straight into the tool. You always want to look at it in the side. You see that? So that spring is being compressed. And you can see that those little clips in here, they actually go pretty deep. And let me, like see, it's loose. That one's loose. This one's still not kind of loose. But in order to take these, it can be kind of difficult. What you want to do is get a, I have this little thing, but it's not magnetic. So I get a little magnet. Just stick it to the side right here. And then get a hold of that little clip. And see if it'll come out like that. If it doesn't come out, this one's fairly loose. But if it doesn't want to come out with the magnet, it means you need to compress. You need to compress that tool, the clamp, a little bit more. Yeah, it's still not coming out. So I'm gonna just do another turn. Very little. See, you see that going, that spring going more in. So I'm gonna get my magnet, little clip, see, and it just comes out like that. And that's this is one of the clips right here. Let me see if we can focus a little bit more. See, that's what that clip looks like. So that's one. Save those. And let's check if the other one is loose. It's not loose. What happens when, okay, when one is really loose and the other one isn't, it means that we didn't compress the spring straight forward. So there's one side of the spring that's has more compression than the other one. So when this happens, what I want to do, very lightly, see, just move it very little like that, and you see that the springs are moving. So when I do that, this clip should get loose. You see that? It came loose. It shifted. So I want to do that. Get my magnet tool again. And then do the shifting again. And, ooh, we almost got it. Okay. There we go. You see that? And there's the other one right here. Save that. Okay, so that's all we needed to do. So see now, this is really important. So now there's nothing holding that spring to the valve. So we just want to decompress, and you're going to do this very slowly. And as you're decompressing, you want to keep it aligned as well. So we're decompressing. You see those springs moving closer to us. There, and I don't feel tension anymore. So we just remove our tool. So see, I just use a regular clamp, and then this little tool. And let me just show you. So this is the top, on top of that, of the springs, and you see there's two springs, the outer and the inner. So when you remove this, just make sure, keep orientation, you see, and then the valve is right here. Sometimes when you remove the spring compressor tool, usually this just shuts down. Be careful, like always expect for it to go down, but right now it's kind of holding, so all you have to do is just tap it down, and you see it just comes out. And here is that valve, and this is the exhaust valve, and you can see all that carbon right here. And take note of this. Remember, you see right here, take note of this right here. The carbon builds up to here and it stops, and then there's some more buildup in here in the bottom, and then right here it's pretty clean and shiny. Take note of that, because in my next video I'm gonna show how to clean a valve. So that's it.